Hi there and welcome to Paul Ratman. Today's date is the 15th of September, middle of spring. It's not too bad today, a little bit overcast. Has been raining this morning, but as you can see, the fish are all nice and happy, always wanting food. On today's episode, I will be talking about Daphnia Magna, which is a small freshwater crustacean. I use this every year when I'm breeding. Once my fry are about 9-10 days old, I then feed them Daphnia, which is a good form of live food. Plenty of protein in those little Daphnia, so they help the fry grow over the summer. I'll get back to you shortly. We'll go into my shed, and this is where I keep my Daphnia. Bear with me. So I'm inside my shed here now. I'll spin you around on the camera shortly. So this is where I keep my Daphnia. As you can see, there's plenty of Daphnia there. I find what works for me is supplying a little small air pump, which supplies a little bit of oxygen to the water. I find personally myself, this helps reproduce and stirs up all the small food particles in the water, which the Daphnia feeds on. So what is Daphnia Magna? Basically, it's a small freshwater crustacean, or in better terms, easy terms, a small water flea. The lifespan of a Daphnia is approximately between 30 and 40 days, and this all depends on the temperature and the environment in which the Daphnia live in. Here in Australia, temperatures are always pretty high, and this affects the lifespan of the Daphnia Magna. The higher the temperature, the lifespan is influenced and reduced. The cooler the temperature, the Daphnia seem to reproduce and last a little bit longer. The female Daphnia usually produces eggs every 3 to 4 days and can sometimes lay hundreds and hundreds of eggs. So to reproduce Daphnia, it's pretty easy. If the conditions and the environment is not the best, then obviously the females will die off, the eggs will stay at the bottom of the pond. As you can see, there's thousands and thousands of Daphnia. You can see all the different sizes. The female, like I said, lays the eggs, and they can reproduce every 3 or 4 days. But obviously if it becomes overcrowded, then the colony will crash, and all the females drop the eggs, and they just lay dormant at the bottom of the pond until the next season. So I tend to, this is where I keep them all. It's just it's a 100 litre or 200 litre aquarium, which I've got in my workshop. I'll just zoom in a little bit there, see if you can see them. You can see them darting through the water, eating all the small bacteria in the water, all different sizes. The smaller ones are obviously the babies, and they usually congregate along the top where there's more oxygen. I have turned the air pump off, but I find the air just helps with food in the water. I'll spin the camera around shortly, and I'll show you a female under the microscope, and also I'll show you one of the little babies under the microscope. So all I do, as you can see, I've got a small slide for the microscope. I'll get a small syringe and just suck. I'll suck a couple of babies up first of all, and I'll show you those under the microscope, so just bear with me. So all I do is just pop a few babies onto the slide, drop this little bad boy on top of there. So as you can see, these are the small Daphnia babies. As you can see there, the small little crustaceans, little Daphnia Magna in the water. They just move so quick. So this is the female Daphnia, which is a little bit easy to see. And I've got it on 40 times zoom, so you can see how different in size the female is from the small babies. I'll see if I can zoom in there. So as you can see there, you can see the small little heartbeat of the Daphnia. You can also see the eggs, small babies inside the female Daphnia as well. As you can see there, it's amazing how big it is compared to the small babies, but you can see it there. You can see it, the heart's beating. Look at these, see the eyeball, and you can see all the small babies inside. So this is all I do now, is I just move the siphon hose around, sucking up some of the Daphnia females and the babies, and then just into the bucket there. I'll go in this corner here where there's a lot more. They seem to stay in one corner sometimes. I have turned the air off now, but you can see in there getting sucked up into the siphon tube. I will do this now over the next month or 2 months, and I'll do this every few days, just so that the main aquarium tank here is not overcrowded and the Daphnia colony doesn't crash. There's some Daphnia in there. I'll see if I can zoom in, you can see it, but very hard to see because they are small. I'll see if I can, oh there you go, there's a few there. So I'll zoom in there. So there already is Daphnia in the spawning tank. So what I'll do now is I'll add these ones I've just got from the garage, and bear with me, I'll just use one hand, and all I do is just add them to the water. It's all about the same pH. Just slowly add them to the water. So this way, in a few days time, the Daphnia females will lay the eggs and they'll just keep reproducing. So it usually take about 2 weeks to get well established, but it all depends on the weather. They don't like the hot weather too much. Anything over 22, 24 degrees, they tend to start dying off. So that's why I like to have them in separate ponds. I'll do the same again with this one. This is another tank I've got set up. It's only about 1700 litres, but it does for the first few weeks, just until I sort through them, but the Daphnia is starting to get established in there. So same again, I'll just tip this in here. You can see the Daphnia at the bottom. Excuse the glare. You can see the Daphnia there at the bottom of the tank. Pour it in there. Same again, usually takes a few weeks to get established properly, but as you can see there, they're all in the water. Lots of Daphnia in there. Excuse the glare and the reflection in the water. So once I've emptied about 20-30% of the Daphnia from my main aquarium tank, I just then top it up with the pond water. As you can see there, the water is pretty murky, But you can see the little fellas and little girls swimming around. So hopefully it should be pretty good this season. If the Daphnia produces well and stays alive, more Daphnia, more protein for the little fries, and bigger the fry will grow. So these are what I feed the Daphnia on, and I usually feed them in the growing season when they're pretty active. I'll feed them maybe twice a day, sometimes once a day. But I feed them. Sometimes I'll give them spirulina, sometimes I'll give them yeast powder, and sometimes I just give them. I've got some fry powder. And what I'll do is I'll give them a bit of a feed now and show you what I do. All is just a small little amount, as I say, a tiny amount, and then just sprinkle it on the top of the water, and that's enough now for the next few days. It usually just floats on the water for a short time, sinks down a little bit, but you can see the tiny little Daphnia usually at the surface. But that's what I do in the growing season when they're all active, the Daphnia, and they're reproducing. I feed them every couple of days. Maybe the other ponds, I just gently sprinkle it with just gently sprinkle it on the top. That will slowly go through the water, and that'll at least keep the Daphnia feeding for the next few days until they start reproducing. I'll do. So this is the microscope which I use. It's just a Saxon. You can buy it in most places in Australia or even online as well. I think it's about $600, but it's done me fine. I've had this about 3 years now. It's pretty good. It's got 3 settings. I only ever use 2. That's the 100 times magnification and the 40 times magnification. I never use the 400. Very, very, very rare. But it does the job for me. Got nice light, which yeah, it's pretty good. I also then just ordered this simple gadget off eBay. This just slots into the main scope, and it then takes it onto the main screen. Just plug it in. It's pretty easy. That's all I use. I think this was about $30 on eBay. Pretty cheap, but does the trick. Makes it a little bit easier. Just get hard sometimes, just with you trying to focus with your eyes through the actual scope. So I tend to plug it into my security screen, and it seems to make it a little bit easier. Well, that's all for the video. Just a quick short sharp video. Hope you enjoyed the video. Please give me a thumbs up, it helps build my channel. As from me and my fish, which are all nice and happy, until the next video, we'll see you shortly. Goodbye from Australia.